found on Pinterest some artwork where people had done art in dictionaries or in books, and they had painted pictures. So what I did was I went to Google and I Googled the dictionary pages, and I got this image right here. And I just right clicked it. I saved picture as and brought it into Photoshop. And I'm going to turn these layers off so we can start from the beginning. Um, if you double click on this, it's a smart object. Try and use smart objects as much as you can. They're a good thing. Okay, so here's the actual smart object. Here's the layer that I brought in. And I probably just copied it and pasted it in here. Then I had this picture and bridge. Let me go to it. Which is this little fish, and it's a transparent background. It looks like it's white, but it's not. It's a transparent background. And all I did was right click, or I did file, place, and then once I had this picture in here, it placed it as a smart object. Smart objects you can resize, and they keep all the original data in the file. You don't change the pixels resizing it. So smart objects are always a good thing to use. That's what it looked like when I originally brought it in. And then I played around with the layering, the different kinds of layers that I could do on it. This really gave me a range of stuff. So there's normally what it looked like. And then I did dissolve, and you can put your mouse right here on it. You can select one and just hit your down arrow and it'll toggle you through it. And you can see all the different effects that you can have. And I just picked one. I think I had linear burn. Let me go back and see what I had originally. I think it was linear burn. But anyways, it lets you toggle through it. Well, let me close that. I want to close it and reopen it. Okay. Okay, so it was linear burn that I actually decided on. And then I said, well, now what do I want to do? I went to my filters. I went to artistic stuff. And I'm looking for ink outlines. I think I found it in here. No, I found it in brush strokes. I clicked on this. Honestly, I just clicked through something. I didn't change the settings over here on the right, but you certainly can. I hit OK. Then I was at this point. Once I got that, um, I don't want to save my changes. I brought it in. Once I got that, so that's my smart object, and then it's been cropped down because obviously I didn't need it as big as it was. Okay, and then I put the next thing I did was this pink layer over it. And when I got to this layer, I tried different I'm going to turn this text off because I honestly did not put the text on there till that was the next step. The step after I got my picture in here and cropped down was to do this colored layer. And then I clicked on the layer options, and it's set on luminosity, but you can stroll through it, and there's again just hitting the down arrow, it'll give you different effects. It'll troll you through them. And I just went through. I mean, there's some cool stuff on there. You could also keep that and just mask it. I mean, there's a lot you can do with it. But anyways, I was just going through, and basically I'm just playing with it. I don't have any rhyme or reason. I'm just looking at what I like, and there's no hard or fast, but I kind of liked that when I saw it. It looked like it would be good for an advertisement or something. And then I like soap, so this is soap, and this actually is a soap that we made. And then I liked handmade, and I originally started out with it down there, and I kind of liked it here, but if you notice, I'm also using the different layer options here. So this is a difference, and this is hard light. Soap is hard light layer, and this is difference. And these are just blends. This is a duplicate because I was trying to get it so it wouldn't be so choppy. And then what I did was I picked out the color with my pen, because keep in mind now, it's the only reason why it's that color is because, not because that's the actual color I did it with, but because that's the actual color right up here, I think, that I did it with, but because I have it as a difference effect, it underneath this pink, it works out to that thing, so you really don't know. Now what I did was up here, I just brought it in, and I I made that color. I picked that color out. I saved it to my swatch, and then I brought it in. And you can just do normal things with it. I mean, you can do that. Again, I'm just trolling through this. That's lighting, that's screen, and all I'm doing is hitting my down button. And I think I had it on soft light. I think that's what I ultimately settled on. Let me see. Yeah, okay, so that's where I am. Alright, and so maybe down here I'll put some more text, but it's just an interesting piece of artwork, and I really just played around with it till I got it. And I'm not an artist or anything spectacular. I just playing around with Photoshop, blending layers and getting different effects. And I want to make a video of this to remember how I did it. Now I saved this as a 16 PFD, and then I did File, Save for Web Devices, and I made an image of it. And if you go over here in my bridge, you'll see I don't think I saved it in this folder. I think I saved it in this folder here. And I just hit Control N. There it is right there. Okay, so there's my picture saved out as a JPEG. And I also have, I'm looking for my 16 PSD. Let me see where I saved that out. There it is. This one is saved. Okay, so they're all three in there. They're all three in that folder. Okay, so this is the master file that you can make changes to, and this is the actual image that you end up with. Okay, so I've got that image. Now, what do I want to do with it? Well, I kind of want to bring it in on a web page that I have going, so I'm going to do that in my next step. Okay, now I have a web page that I want to bring this in that I've done some artwork on. So I'm hitting insert up here, image. I want to bring it in as a PSD just because you have so much more options with PSD. So I do it. There it is. Okay, now remember that 16 PSD is the master file that you can make edits to, but now we have that file, and I'm going to make it an image. Now I already did have one image made of it, which is fine. I'm just doing this to show you that you can do it. I don't need it that big. I'm going to pare it down to probably about 640. Maybe it's a little bit smaller. Let me see what these other images are. Yeah, they're about 640, 480, so I'm trying to keep them all the same. So I did constrain it. This does it because I have that lock on there. It does it proportionally. It's a JPEG, but you have options for other stuff, and it's 100%. I hit OK. It says, okay, now we've got an image. You got to name it, and you got to say where you want it. And I want to put it back in here. And I'm going to give it a number. You can call. You really should give it a name, but I'm not going to. And you really should put in alternate text. Okay, right here, if I want to change this photo in any way, all I have to do is click there, and it will bring, I'm sorry, all I have to do is click here. It'll bring it back up in Photoshop, and I can change it any way I want to. Let's say I want to make that change, just for the sake of doing it. Then hit close. Do you want to save changes? Yes. Hit close again. When you go back into Dreamweaver, just right click it. It's a little bit slow. um, because I've got this recording going on, and it'll update it however I need to update it. But we don't want it that way, so I'm going to put it back the way it was. Click down here on this Photoshop icon at the bottom, turn this layer back on, close it, hit save yes, and that brings me back into Dreamweaver. I have to update this little, see when it's got that red on there, you got to update it. You can update it down here too. So, um, okay, now let's look at this in a browser. File, save, and usually I just do Control S and then F12, but when you're starting out you kind of need to be shown where that stuff is in the menu, so that's why I'm showing it to you. Whoops, didn't come in. Okay. Now I gotta figure out what, there it is. Okay, there it is. So now I can see what it kind of looks like on a web page.